You just saved my life.
You didn't leave me much choice.
Doesn't this mean you have to do whatever I say from now on?
Actually, it's the other way around.
I know you are a very good friend to Emily.
Yes, but I've been completely selfish. Look, Emily is unique. I need her in this world. Monica, I need her in my life.
And do you hear yourself? I mean, Nikolas, you're sounding as though it's just a little bit more than friendship.
Well, I love Emily. I'm as invested in her survival as anyone else who loves her, including you and Alan.
And I believe you. I do. Because you're saying everything that a mother would want and expect to hear from a future son-in-law. But what I'm hearing is that you and Emily are pretending to be engaged.
I want Emily to live through this. I will do absolutely whatever it takes to make sure that happens.
Does that include marrying Emily for real?
I lost my hair 2 weeks to the day, and I remember waking up that morning, and all of a sudden I looked down at my pillow and there was some hair, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. And I went into the shower a couple hours later, and it kept coming out.
My daughter asked me, she was 8 at the time, are you going to lose all your hair?
I went to my husband, I said, it's time.
And I said, well, I don't know. And she said, well, if you do, will you get a wig? And I said, yeah. And she said, well, can I get one too?
And he stuck my head over the trash can with the dog clippers, and we shaved it off. But that was a way for me to take control and say the cancer wasn't going to be in control, I was. And it was so much better than it just falling out.
I never thought I would be at this point in my life. I was just going on with my, routine. And next thing you know, it's like you hitting a brick wall.
As it starts, you think it's never going to end.
Exactly.
When am I going to get to the other side? When is this bad dream going to be over?
My mother is a breast cancer survivor. And so, and it, the initial feeling like it's a death sentence.
It's not that way.
It's not necessarily that way.
Chemotherapy is a life drip. It's not the death drip.
How did you find your tumor?
I found it on a self-exam.
I first noticed a dimple on my right breast.
I felt the lump inadvertently in the shower. I was not doing breast exams, which I now do.
And I got a shower and I thought, what is that? I ignored it.
Actually showed it to my gynecologist, who essentially blew me off and said, what are you worried about? You're young, you're healthy, this is fibrocystic, it's nothing, don't worry about it, go home.
I had no idea that was the first clue of breast cancer.
And inadvertently found it, had a mammogram, it came back negative, and I was so relieved.
Called a friend for referral, went to see another doctor, went in to see him. He did an ultrasound and a needle biopsy, came back negative.
So I went to my doctor, and he said, oh, it's nothing, it's just a cyst, it's nothing. And I said, no, I feel it's more than a cyst.
But he kept pushing me to come back, and I'm like, okay, everything's negative, why?
And he said, well, I'm going to send you to the doctor to have it checked.
And he said, you know what? It's still there, let's take it out.
And when they took it out, it was malignant.
So they checked it, and of course it came back, cancerous.
When they took it out is when it was positive.
It was Mother's Day weekend, and I felt that it was also this malicious irony that it's Mother's Day weekend, and I may not be able to get to be a mother anymore.
It was surreal. It didn't seem real.
Stepping in to save your life makes me responsible for the choices you make from now on.
Oh, really? So you're like my personal bodyguard, watching over me day and night, monitoring my every decision, making sure I'm a good little girl?
Not a chance.
There are worse jobs, I'm sure you've had a few. Guarding my body could prove to be inspirational, not to mention tons of fun.
Are you flirting with me?
Was I? Maybe you flatter yourself.
Are you even capable of being honest?
What does it matter to you?
You're working with Stefan. To do what exactly? Seduce Nikolas to convince him to marry you?
What you don't understand is that I am the best thing that ever happened to Nikolas.
I'd marry Emily tomorrow if that's what she wanted. Does that bother you?
No. No. Nicholas, I'm really very, very touched by your devotion to Emily. I'm kind of wondering about your life. It just seems that you've put everything on hold to support Emily, but what about your family and your relationships? Isn't it, a bit beyond the call of friendship?
Oh, I see. You actually think I have a life or relationships.
Well, yes, I do.
Well, Monica, my attachments are limited. Okay, I was engaged to Gia. Now we hardly speak. My uncle's possessive and controlling. My mother's in a mental institution, may not ever recognize me again. And my brother's preoccupied with solving Summer's murder and starting to suspect the Cassadine. So, you see, Emily's the only solid relationship I have. I need her at least as much as she needs me.
Okay. Okay. Look, right now, I'm just grateful that you got Emily to go into that support group. I so hope it's going to help her.
Yeah. Anything else I can do, just let me know.
It's important to have your support group and have people.
I don't know what I would do without them.
I felt like I was just sort of lifted up and carried through with my friends.
My husband,
People that you didn't expect to be there for you are really there for you.
I remember probably right around the time after the mastectomy, after the chemo, looking in the mirror going, I don't know what kind of life this is going to be.
I mean, in the midst of all the horror,
I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't know how much surgery.
people say the colors in your life change. They really do.
I remember kind of thinking, I should give this man a way out, which was the most infuriating thing I could have ever done or even said to him. He's so incredible.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I got a better life back.
I can say today, honestly, that my life is better now than it's ever been.
I just took it for granted, didn't realize, how much people love one another.
Yeah, exactly.
I kept a journal while I went through this experience, just to help to clarify my thoughts. And when it was all over, I gave them each a copy of the journal. And Emily, I would like to give you this copy of the journal.
Thank you so much, Mary.
We're happy that you're here.
We're happy with you.
Expecting Nikolas, I hope.
Isn't it past your bedtime?
Let me see. Oh. Not horrible. Provocative, though a bit obvious.
Oh, well, it's too bad we can't all be as subtle as you, Stefan. Like that really smooth move you made, stopping Nikolas's engagement to Emily by sending the wrong woman off a cliff.
Lower your voice.
Oh, now you're concerned. You didn't seem to have a problem with it when we were on the grounds, speaking so openly, where anyone could hear us. Yeah, you went on and on about me marrying Nikolas and all you do to make it happen. So subtle, unlike me, so very smooth. You should be grateful the police haven't come to arrest you.
Who would have reported me, Lydia? You and I were the only ones there. Have you spoken to someone? Commissioner Scorpio, perhaps?
No.
The DA?
You know I haven't.
Then what are you hiding?
Sergei said you wanted to see me. Did you find something?
This is not about Summer, but I overheard Stefan and Lydia when they thought they were alone, and they are conspiring to work together to get you guys married. There seems to be a lot of money at stake.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, Lydia's not the most subtle woman I've ever met, and I've noticed a few looks back and forth. What astonishes me is that they actually think there's a chance.
Well, there isn't, right? Because of Emily?
Hi.
How was the session?
Fine. Fine.
Just fine?
You wanted me to go, I went. Did Nikolas leave?
Yeah, a little while ago.
Did he say where he was going?
No, tell me about the session. I mean, did you learn anything, or did you hate it?
Okay, I need to find Nikolas first.
That was abrupt.
I'm beginning to think that this pretend relationship between Emily and Nikolas is turning into the real thing.
You're really in love with Emily, aren't you?
Well, we're getting married.
Well, something about your engagement seemed off to me.
What? Because it was so fast?
Maybe.
I mean, because, you know, that's how things happen sometimes. Just bam, out of nowhere. It's like being struck by lightning, I guess, and blink, and the world's a different place than it was a second ago. If you're fortunate, it gets better. Sometimes it gets worse. Usually a little bit of both. Either way, you're in it, and there's no turning back.
Spoon Island is teeming with guards and servants. Any one of them could have overheard you, and you don't exactly inspire loyalty in your employees.
You saw someone, but it wasn't a servant. Who was it?
No one.
Who did you see, Lydia?
I told you, no one. But the bluff is a crime scene, and Summer's death is still being investigated. Who's to say Scott Baldwin or one of his merry band aren't lurking around?
The police already have a suspect. They're focused on apprehending Luke Spencer. The only one who's still convinced of his innocence is Lucky. Well, Lucky's on the island, isn't he?
I haven't the slightest idea where Lucky is. I don't keep track of him. But if he had been on the bluff earlier, he'd know all about our plans for Nikolas.
I'll have your friend Lucky removed from the estate immediately.
Lucky's welcome on Spoon Island whenever he wants to come. And as my brother, he has unlimited access to my estate. You, if you're so bound and determined to marry a Cassadine, why don't you go after my uncle here? You're very well matched together.
And what is that supposed to mean?
You're both obsessed with money, and I'll do anything to get it. But see, I want to give credit where credit is due here. That whole sensitivity act thing you did, that was a nice strategy. And it might have been convincing if I wasn't engaged to a woman who really does have a heart.
He knows.
Obviously. And we have Lucky Spencer to thank.
Don't get sidetracked, Stefan. This is more than a setback. The only way to fix it is to tell Nikolas the whole truth. There's nothing to do but give Nikolas the bottom line. We'll all be paupers if he doesn't marry me.
Nikolas won't marry for money. He's too principled. He's too proud. Emily Quartermain must be taken out
No,
of the
your
equation.
methods are too extreme. I'll solve the problem myself.
How?
It's this radical new approach. And it's called seduction. And it's infinitely more civilized than anything you've got planned.
You're on your Cassadine stripes tonight, huh? Blackmailing me into that cancer survivor group.
Don't expect me to apologize, okay? Because I'm not sorry. And I am just getting started. Blackmail, manipulation, threats, whatever. I'll do it all. You can scream at me. You can hate me. I don't care. I don't care, because I'll do whatever I have to do to keep you alive.
Oh, I'm too angry to die.
Good!
Good? I'm furious and you think that's good?
Yes.
Well, for your information, Nikolas, you're right. I am so angry at you. I actually feel alive more than I have in weeks, maybe months, maybe since the day I was first diagnosed. Don't you get tired of being infallible?
You've moved from anger right into delirium.
And you have moved past niceness into sainthood, Nikolas, propping me up through chemo and letting me obsess about my hair without ever once saying that hair is trivial or it's just hair or you're misplacing your anxiety, pretending to love me.
I'm not pretending. All my life I've been called cold and detached. And Lucky calls it the prince thing, but it's just my way of protecting myself.
From disappointment?
Yeah. I know from experience that people aren't necessarily dependable, so you don't invest too much because I just let you down anyway. I don't ask for promises because nobody ever keeps them. Except for you. You kept every promise you've ever made to me, eh? You're the exact opposite of cold and detached. You laugh and cry. In love with your whole heart. You make me want to be just like you. I have a stake in what happens to you, Emily. And I mean to have you around for a very long time.
I mean to be.
Really?
I was scared. I mean, I still am. But I'm not gonna hide in my fear anymore. I'm gonna fight this disease right down to the ground.
That's what I wanted to hear.
And it's because of you, Nicholas. I mean, you dragged me kicking and screaming back into life, and I love you so much for that.